and welcome to today's video. My name is Ashley if this is your first time watching my channel, and today is going to be my apartment tour in Grenada as an SGU student. This is one of the most common SGU student housing apartments that are off campus. It's not really associated with the university, but since it's so close to the campus, mostly SGU students stay here. So let's get into today's tour. So I am at the Bayfront Apartments, and I am less than a minute away to walking to the SGU campus. And this is one of the studios. There are a couple of different bedroom options that you will just have to contact the landlord if you are interested in this apartment. To start off with, you are actually located right by the front door. So to my right is the kitchen, and it is a full-size kitchen. It does come with an oven and a stovetop, and it also comes with a microwave and also a freezer and a refrigerator behind me, and also the big beautiful sink, which I will show you in a minute. And then also you do get one trash can. You do have to supply your own trash bags, but at least the trash can is provided. None of the other kitchen utensils or supplies are provided, so you will have to buy those on your own. You have plenty of storage, which I will show you. You have all of these drawers that you can open up and put whatever utensils you want in them. The oven is very spacious, which I greatly love. This is one of the very few electronic stoves on the island. I did have one at my previous apartment, which was at the Palms, which I will link above, just in case you want to watch that video as well. But this is so nice. I absolutely love this electronic stove. It's one of my favorite features in the apartment. Down here, you also do have some additional storage. And this is actually where one of the trash cans lives. But like I said before, you will need to supply your own bags. But there is tons of storage down here, which I will show you right now on the screen so you can see how deep it is in here. But also you get to see kind of where the sink is. And then just a little cubby area. Everything is open down here, so it's great for holding all of your pots and pans for the stove. I absolutely love the sink as well. It's super deep, which I greatly appreciate. And you can also plug it up as well if you want to rinse and wash a couple of items, which I tend to do if I'm cooking a lot and meal prepping for the week. So this is honestly great. To turn it on, you just do it like a normal sink, and then it just comes out. So this freezer and refrigerator combo, it's very nice. It's pretty spacious, as you can see, and you can control the temperature however you want as well. But also, you literally have so much space in here for just one person. Like, it's great. But moving on now to the actual main apartment. Since it is a studio, there's really no wall dividing the kitchen from the bedroom, but as you can see in just a few moments, there is kind of a little bit of a dividing wall, but just not as you would expect for a one-bedroom apartment. Another good feature about this apartment is that not only do I have the Grenadian plugs, I also have the US outlets as well to charge all of my electronic devices. Since this apartment is mostly for SGU students, the apartment caters to both. So that is really helpful. This is actually where the internet box is too, but we will get into all of the logistics later on in this video. Another great thing about this apartment in particular is the storage that I had in this studio apartment. Typically you don't see much storage space in a lot of apartments, which I greatly appreciated that I had a bunch in this apartment. So this side is mostly where you hang all of your clothes if you want to, and then down below I stored like my scrubs and my stuff for school, and also below that I put a bunch of my shoes. On this side, I put mostly all of like the rest of my stuff, like medications, swimwear, any extra school supplies that I had, any extra bags. I put all of that stuff in here. This apartment also comes with an additional chair and also kind of like a side table. I actually was using this for my makeshift nightstand. Since there was no nightstand around the bed, I just put that near me so I could charge my phone at night and put like my earplugs in if I needed to. But my favorite part of this apartment has got to be the fact that I had an awesome office chair for my desk, because this is where I usually eat my lunch, dinner, breakfast whenever I'm in the apartment, because there's no actual dining table in this apartment. But this is honestly a great space. And then the fact that this office chair is here is awesome. I did not have this in my last apartment, so I love the fact that I do have an actual office desk and chair. Also, for the desk area, there are US and Grenada plugs below the desk as well. And then this remote controls the air conditioning in the room. We do have a little bit of a mirror here, and then also a picture as well. That did come with the apartment, so I'm just going to leave both of these in here when I leave. Last but not least, let's take a look at the bathroom really quick. For this part of the tour, since it's actually pretty compact in the bathroom and it echoes, I'm gonna just do a quick voiceover to show you kind of what it looks like. But to start off with, you have the sink to the right of you as you come in, and also you are staring right at the toilet. And then you also have your shower to your left, which honestly is pretty spacious considering it's a studio apartment, so it wasn't too hard to get used to the idea. You also do have a small trash can in here, but as I've said before, with the kitchen trash can, you do have to supply your own bags, and then you also do have to get your own toilet paper as well. I typically kept my laundry stuff in the bathroom, so it was away from the rest of my clothes and it didn't smell in the apartment then. But as you can see in the shower, there is a waterfall head and also an additional shower head as well that you can just pull from the wall in case you went to the beach and you have some sand on your feet. You can easily rinse it off with that instead of taking a full-on shower if you don't want to do that. So I greatly like that about this apartment, is that they really consider the fact that since you are on a tropical island, you will probably end up going to the beach at some point and will definitely need that additional shower head. That is the official apartment tour though for the Bayfront Apartment complex near the SGU campus. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the logistics of this apartment and kind of some of the pros and cons of this location. So as you've seen, I do not have a laundry machine in my apartment studio. The laundry is actually outside of my apartment, and it does cost additional money to do your laundry here. So it is 10 EC per load, meaning for one wash cycle and 2 drying cycles, it is 10 EC. And if you don't know much about the Grenada washers and dryers, they do not work the same as they do in the US. Make sure it's not a full load whenever you do decide to do laundry, because the washer and dryers cannot handle large loads of laundry at one time. The apartment itself, without including electricity, is $14.50 US per month. Up front, you do have to pay the first month's rent, last month's rent, and security deposit. So keep that in mind when you are coming to Grenada. That does tend to be the normal when you sign for a lease. I signed my lease every 6 months. So you can do every 6 months or you can do a full year. It really just depends. The landlord has been phenomenal. I have really enjoyed working with her. And this apartment complex is pretty quiet. I believe there's a lot of veterinary students here, so maybe that's why it's a little quieter. Even though I am very close to the main street that goes into campus, I barely hear the traffic here, which is great. I can sometimes hear the noise and music from Dodgy Dock, which is across the water. And also when the Hideaway Apartments has their rooftop parties, sometimes you can hear their music as well. So I would highly recommend, if you do come to this apartment complex, to bring either noise canceling headphones or bring earbuds. For electricity, usually that runs me about $100 US per month. It really does depend on how much air conditioning you use though. I usually only have my air conditioning on when I'm in the apartment and turn it off when I'm at school. The cleaning lady does come once a week. For this apartment in particular, it is every Tuesday that she comes in and does a small cleaning. So honestly, the cleaning ladies here are great as well. The maintenance crew is awesome. I've had a few issues with water not working in my apartment, but also it apparently was the entire apartment complex. It wasn't just my apartment that was affected during those times, but it was always resolved very quickly, usually within a day. It was working again. And then for the laundry machines, if it does break down, since we only have 2 washers and 2 dryers, the maintenance crew really tries to keep up to date and make sure that their maintenance is done regularly so we don't have any issues. I definitely love this apartment way more than I did my previous apartment, but there are a few cons of this building, I will say. The noise can be pretty loud at night when you're trying to sleep, if you are a light sleeper, just because the music can get kind of loud in Grenada. And also the internet does cut in and out pretty regularly every single day, so you will have to deal with that sometimes, but campus is literally just barely a minute away from my apartment, so you can get access to internet fairly quickly if you actually need to do some work online. There is also a study area outside that you can just hang out with some friends or eat your pastries or drink your coffee from Antonio's, because they did just open up a shop here recently, a little coffee shop that has a bunch of amazing goodies. So if you do have the chance to come to Antonio's Espresso, I would highly recommend them. The staff are incredibly nice and sweet and will just love to get to know you. And then my view from my apartment is pretty nice. I get to overlook the Bay Area, and I really love the views at night and also in the morning. It does get loud here though whenever it rains, because part of my apartment has its own roof area, so you do get to hear some of that noise when the rain is coming against the window. I absolutely love this apartment. I would highly recommend, if anyone is looking for an apartment like this that is closer to campus and also isn't too much money, because a couple of the apartments in this area are pretty expensive, so this is on the lower end. This apartment is not pet friendly though, so keep that in mind. If you are a veterinary student that has a pet, unfortunately you cannot live in this apartment complex. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you do have any additional questions about this apartment in particular, please let me know down below and I will be happy to answer those questions for you. And I do hope you all have a great day, and I will see you next time.